What is up, everybody? Down by the rink. I am Billy Schwalbach, and this is
Jason Cusimano.
And we have a very great podcast episode for you here today. We're going to be talking about a bunch of things like staff members and players getting COVID. Oh no, we got some Lindblom back from cancer. Good for him. Congrats, okay? And we'll be talking about the New Jersey Devils too. So let's get into it. So first off, I would like to apologize. Obviously, last week I wasn't here. I had a doctor's appointment for the eye doctor. I'm actually slowly switching to contacts. So within the next couple weeks, you'll see me like that. And yeah, what's up with you?
So I said last week that I was going to start putting up series like Be a Pro and Franchise Mode. I have those ready to go. I just have not edited them and put them up. I may refilm some of them because there's a lot of background noise in them. And I just want to put up good quality content instead of rushing to get weekly or daily up for you guys. So those are definitely on the way. You just got to wait a little longer. But I just want to talk about one more thing. As you guys can see, we are not doing this over Discord. We are in my room together. We are doing this podcast 100% in a safe manner. We've both been quarantining. So make sure that if you are doing a podcast and you don't know if the other person or if the guest has had COVID or has anything to do with COVID, make sure that you do not do this. We are doing this because we are 100% sure that there is no COVID between us, and we want to make sure that...
6 feet apart.
I mean, you never know.
You never know. Bye.
But anyway, guys, make sure, don't do this at home unless you're 100% sure, because we want to go back to school and work by September. So, thank you guys, and let's get into the podcast. So, first up, with news, we have staff members and players are getting COVID left and right, and how is this going to delay things? So, we definitely have a bit of an issue when it comes to that, because if everybody has COVID and COVID is surging through the NHL, they're definitely not going to start up in late July like they want to. So, it's going to be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, especially like with the the two cities they'll be playing in. Obviously, if one player from one conference gets it, yeah, it'll spread easier, quicker, because there's so many people playing with them and staying close to them and everything. So yeah, you just gotta be extra careful and hope for the best, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's going through many organizations right now, so it's a huge issue, and hopefully we'll get through it quick enough so that we can start on time, because I'm already dying without hockey. I don't need any more of that happening.
Yeah. Missing sports in general. Like, we heard baseball's back, that's good, or coming back. Basketball's coming back soon. I'm not a big basketball fan, but still, football's still scheduled, so we'll see how this all goes. It's going to be a crazy fall and winter, that's for sure.
Absolutely. A lot of things are going to be shifted out of place, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens as far as that. And my mouse just fell, but I guess that's a great interlude between that and us talking about the amazing Lindblom is back from cancer today. He was skating with Philadelphia the other day. I saw that and I was like, we definitely got to mention that, because that is a huge step for him, I'm sure, and his family. So that is a great thing, and hopefully he'll come back for the 2020 playoffs.
Yeah, so congrats to him. Obviously, I hope for the best. I'm sure Jason does too.
Absolutely.
From what I remember, when he was younger, like before cancer, he was actually like a decent third liner.
Very solid player.
So very consistent and everything. So I mean, hopefully the rest of his career goes well.
Yeah, that'd be great. I want to look up his age, because I want to see what an effect this actually could have had on him, because it definitely depends. He was born in 1996, so he's only 24.
Yeah.
All right, so it's not like he got his prime cut off or anything. So he should be okay.
Pretty young. He'll obviously have to work out more and everything, get back into shape. But...
Absolutely. But it's good that he's on the ice skating again.
Yeah, and he has time before postseason starts.
Absolutely. So that's pretty much it for Lindblom. Congrats on getting better, and hope to see you out on the ice. And another amazing thing that happened in the past week, Matt Dumba of the Minnesota Wild, he made his own charity fund, and he's rebuilt the Minneapolis area after a whole bunch of George Floyd death-related protests. He put a lot of money towards a really good thing, and that was definitely worth mentioning here on the podcast.
Yeah, that's really one nice thing by him. I know I've been focusing on like a lot of celebrities recently, like using their platform to try to help everyone out, calm things down from the riots and make it more peaceful.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so good for him. He's a nice guy, obviously, and hopefully he keeps that heart and continues to help people when needed.
Yeah, because I've even seen some players that like taking millions out of their salary and saying like give it to the concession people and the people who don't have a job right now because they normally work at the rinks or at the arenas, and all of them are closed. So a lot of players are really stepping up, and a lot of celebrities themselves are stepping up and doing a good thing, which is amazing. So that's really great. I wanted to talk about a little bit about some of the Stanley Cup underdogs, the people who definitely were not supposed to get into the playoffs, but now are, and how far they can really get as far as the playoffs go. So I'm going to look up the standings to make sure we don't miss anybody, and we will get into that, definitely. All right, so
Look up the playoffs, like what teams made it.
2020 playoffs. There we go. NHL hockey standings. There we go. And then the top 6 made it, right?
I think so.
Instead of the top 2, right? Because that's
Yeah, 'cause
adding 4
Buffalo's
onto
in the
every.
bottom.
That's adding 4 onto everyone in general. Yeah. So it's the top 6 plus these. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, as far as the playoffs go, there are obviously a lot of people who definitely deserve to be in the playoffs. You know, the top 3 in each division absolutely deserve to be there. And then the wild cards were obviously supposed to be there. But then there were the people down here who we don't really know. Like, Florida was a huge comeback team this year, but they didn't quite make it, and they're still in the playoffs. Same thing with the Rangers, and those guys are up there in the amount of games that they played. So it's actually really interesting that they're in. I definitely think Florida and Montreal shouldn't have made it, but now that they're here, I wonder what they're gonna do, because Montreal does still have some heavy hitters. You know, like Shea Weber and Max Domi and Carey Price in the net if he's playing the way he can. But they can do it. They can absolutely make a run. But it's just questionable as to if you weren't supposed to make the playoffs and now you are, do you deserve it?
Yeah.
And I think that that's definitely going to run through the league, especially if some of these teams do end up making it really far.
Mm-hmm. So, like, I understand, obviously, like, they had to do something for the teams that, like, didn't just make it in case, like, they had a surge at the end. So, like, I liked how they went by point percentage by, like, game. That was pretty smart on their part, to choose, like, who does deserve it and everything. But, like, teams like Montreal and Florida, maybe even the Rangers, like, probably would have fell just short. But I mean, they still have a chance to get far. You never know. Like last year with Tampa and what was it? Was it Carolina?
Tampa,
Oh, it was
Carolina.
Columbus.
Oh yeah,
Columbus
just knocked them out.
Yeah, Tampa got what, like 120 something points last season. And
128, I think it is.
yeah, and Columbus just completely swept them as a wild card team. Like you really never know what's gonna happen. So.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see, because like Florida and Montreal and those teams at the bottom, you know, if they make it farther, some teams are going to be really ticked off,
Yeah.
because just the fact that wouldn't have made it if things had gone any differently, but now all of a sudden they're right in the running, And if they end up making it conference finals, Stanley Cup finals, there's going to be a lot of salty teams out there.
Yep, that is for sure.
Absolutely. And then the same thing in the Western Conference with, teams like Chicago, who has been dropping off ever since they won their cup. Arizona, Minnesota, and Arizona, as well as Chicago, are definitely like the big ones that you never really thought were going to make the playoffs, but now they have to because of the new format.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll definitely be interesting to see. I personally think Chicago will make it very far, because they are an amazing playoff team. Like when they make the playoffs, they know how to take the playoffs on by storm.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna make it really far, even though they didn't do amazingly in the regular season. They only had 72 points in 70 games, so they made 50.5% of the amount of points that they could have had. And they going into this, they were only on a 1-game win streak. So, but even though they don't have a lot of momentum, I think they definitely have potential to do good things with this.
Yeah, but like most teams, really, you don't really have a lot of momentum because they haven't played in months and months and months. It was like March 12th, I think, that they stopped the season.
Something like that, yeah.
So they're really just stay in shape and hope for the best. This is basically like a new season, but more intense because it's playoff mode now. And
Absolutely.
it's going to be rough for them playing not in front of fans, but you never know. We'll see what happens.
Things should get really interesting because there are a lot of teams that definitely that didn't make it. I think will definitely are undoubtedly supposed to make it. Like Vancouver, I absolutely think would have made the playoffs if we had stayed. Same thing probably with the Islanders and the Rangers. They probably would have ended up somewhere within there. Those teams you could probably say deserve to be there. But as far as like the down lower teams, probably if I'm a Vegas or a St. Louis or a Colorado fan, I'm not very happy that this is in the playoffs, especially with Chicago, because as I said, I definitely think they're going to be dangerous when it comes to playoff time. I think Chicago definitely steps up their game when they make the playoffs, and especially since they still got, there's still a 25-year-old Stanley Cup winning Jonathan Toews inside that body. Same thing with Patrick Kane. So I think they can definitely get something going with this. I wouldn't doubt seeing Chicago in the second normal round of the playoffs, if not the conference finals. Maybe they won't win, but I definitely think they can make a deep playoff run because they've done it before. They have a lot of people who really know what they're doing. Duncan Keith, Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, Corey Crawford in the net if he does play, because I don't think he started this year. But no matter what, I definitely think they can punch through these playoffs.
Yeah, and one of the upsides for all these teams is like most of their players that were considered out for the rest of the season are getting better now. So all these teams will have like all great rosters, and we're gonna see some great players again.
That's a totally different thing. Yeah, like the fact that people had the chance to reboot themselves, because Stanley Cup Finals would have been over. It's June 25th. Like, my birthday's in 3 days, and I'm never seeing hockey by the time my birthday comes around. Ever. So, by this time, we would have had a Stanley Cup winner, and none of these people would be coming back. Lindblom, as we said earlier, would never have ended up in the playoffs, as well as a whole bunch of Islanders players that I know of, and and I'm sure every other team has one or two that have come back now, but I think that definitely levels the playing field as far as, everybody having their greatest players, so we can actually see who the best team in the NHL was for 2020, because injuries could be flukes, injuries could screw things up, but there's a possibility that this evens the playing field as to who is actually the best team.
Yeah.
I just want to congratulate Las Vegas for making the playoffs every year since they've been in the league. Like, that's unbelievable. They're number one in the Pacific right now. They really know how to play. I mean, the veterans that they have is unbelievable. Like, and even the newer guys like Matt Stone, Mark Vassaux, guys who weren't all that until they went to Vegas, And now that they got Robin Leonard, Marc-Andre Fleury in their net, who are they going to start? in the playoffs.
I mean, I'm gonna say
I personally said Fleury.
yeah, because Fleury has much more of a playoff history. He knows how to play. Maybe put Leonard in like every third game or whatever to get him some experience in case you need him later.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'd start Fleury, but then I'd be really quick to go from Fleury to Leonard. Like, we lose one game by 5 points, see ya.
yeah,
Like, I would be very quick to switch because they have two starting goalies as their starting and backup. They're a tandem,
yeah.
amazing tandem, and it's gonna be weird. That was very awkward silence there for like 2 seconds because we both took a sip
That was scary.
at the time. Yeah, that was.
Okay,
Luckily, I swallow quick, so.
good to know. Note to self.
Yeah. Nice. But yeah, this is gonna be a weird playoffs because everybody's back, like you said, from injury. It's gonna be weird.
Mhm.
But I look forward to seeing like Vancouver and Chicago, like teams that didn't make the playoffs, but will probably go very far. Like,
Yeah,
you know, Vancouver, they got Jacob Markstrom in their net, backed up by Thatcher Demko. That's gonna be huge for them.
yeah.
Vancouver, they got a lot of younger, smart talent. And I think that's going to be interesting. Dallas, though, to be honest, I wouldn't say Dallas deserves to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
Because, like, all of their guys who were really good are now older, and, like, they're not going to make it very far, in my opinion.
Yeah, like they're not gonna be in the top 4, so they're gonna be in the qualification round. I mean, honestly, I could see them going 1 or 2 rounds in. That's
Yeah.
basically it. So,
Yeah. I definitely think somebody like Winnipeg, Winnipeg with, like, Scheifele, Wheeler, Hellebuck in the net, 100% he should win the Vezina this year. But anyway, I think Winnipeg's going to make it look much farther than Dallas or even Calgary.
yeah.
Maybe even Edmonton because they have no they don't have much of a blue line and they definitely don't have anybody between the pipes. But we'll see.
Yep.
But I think there's a lot of underdogs here, and I think some of them are going to go far, and some of them are going to show that they didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. Like Minnesota, for example, and Arizona, I think they just don't have the talent to get there. It's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out, but I think that Minnesota and Arizona, I don't think they're going to do it. Maybe Arizona, because they got fat ass Phil Kessel, they got Taylor Hall. They got Ronta and Kemper in their net. That's a nice tandem.
Mhm.
So maybe, but
Yeah.
definitely not Minnesota. I wouldn't say Minnesota deserves to be
Yeah. They're not gonna make it far
in.
if they even make 1 round, but you never know.
Yeah, if you want to see our playoff predictions, you can go back to see the first episode after this episode. But stick around because we got a New Jersey Devils filled episode for y'all. What's so funny?
I would have said theme, not episode,
Okay.
but
Hey,
That's
I'm
just me.
talking out my butt right now. So, all right. Anyway, so congrats to the people who made it. See, it's going to be a very interesting. It's going to be a very interesting time for hockey in itself.
yes.
And yeah, so let's move on. And as we said, we're going to be talking about the New Jersey Devils today. They are an absolutely bottom feeder team. The Devils, they were 28, 29, and 12. They had 68 points on the year. They're not as bad as they're perceived to be. Because they are only 1 game under 500. They're not like crapping the bed or anything like Detroit is. If you want to see us go over to Detroit, you can watch last week's podcast. But anyway, we're going over New Jersey. I definitely think New Jersey, there's not much that needs to be done for New Jersey to kind of start clicking and get into the spirit of things. Because they're there. They're at 500. They're getting points ish. They just need to make a final push. And I'm thinking about what's going on between their blue line and their goaltending and their offense. And the problem is definitely between the pipes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I believe so. Because if we go to their things, they have Mackenzie Blackwood, who's going to be great. He's going to be good. He's going to be a nice starter for them. But for right now, they have Mackenzie Blackwood, and then they have Corey Schneider, who used to be great and is now... He's a bit of an oof. Yeah, a bit of an oof. I think he's like 34 now. Let's see, he's 24, so he's 34. Yeah. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see where their goalies go because in the free agent tracker, as we said, last week with Detroit, they got a whole bunch. Like they got Corey Crawford up, they got Holtby up, they got a whole bunch up. I'm going to go to goaltenders and press go. And I'm going to go to all types. There we go. Go. There we go. And they got like Corey Crawford. Robin Leonard's back up after this year, after he leaves Vegas. Matt Murray's up. Markstrom is up. Thomas Greiss is up. Kudobin's up. A whole bunch of options that are definitely an upgrade for them.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, I mean, I hope they get better because it's kind of embarrassing seeing like, as an Islander fan, we're in the Metro division, obviously, and our whole division is great, and then there's the Devils. Like, our whole division always gets, like...
And then there's and Columbus.
But even Columbus, they got top 4 in the wild card. Like, our whole division, if you look, the top 4 is
they're in
division.
the wild card spot.
Like, we're just a crazy good division, and I think that's part of New Jersey's struggles because they just verse all the other teams too much. 4 games a season each. What is that like?
That's like 32 games out of 82.
28. Because it's 7.
7 on the right? Because I was thinking 8 or.
So 28 games right there. We'll say winning what, like 30% of those. So
just like 10 of them.
Yeah,
like 10 of them.
That's already 18 losses right there.
It's 36 points gone. But yeah, it's definitely a huge hit to be in a great division like this.
Yeah.
Because the entire Eastern Conference is amazing. You know, even on the other side with the Atlantic Division, the Bruins, the Maple Leafs, the Lightning, all those guys, they really know how to play hockey. All those organizations are also an issue, and I think they play. Don't we play the Eastern Conference more than the West?
Yeah.
Isn't that also
the West is 2 games a season, and then the Atlantic Division is 3 games.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, definitely. So they definitely got to get better, and I think goaltending is a huge key to that. So if you're GM for the Devils, who are you going with? Who's the goalie that you would shell out $5, $6, $7 million for if you need them on your Devils organization?
I mean, honestly, I would try to go for a younger guy, maybe like someone who hasn't hit their prime really yet.
Prime for a goalie is a little older than prime for a regular. Like, Murray's technically probably not in his prime for a goalie. He's prime for a goalie is like 28 to 32, something like that. So that's why I'm saying I'd go with Robin Leonard. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I would shoot for Robin Leonard. There's probably going to be a lot of teams that go for him, though. So you would have to put a lot of money into him, and that's not really what the Devils can do.
He had a .920 save percentage.
Yeah.
Look at that. But anyway, yeah, so do they have a lot of cap?
Probably not. I mean, probably, because they're all younger. A lot of their players are still on rookie contracts, I think. So.
Cap space.
You can spell.
Oh my god, it's spelling. Devils caps, bro. Okay. Here we go. NHL salary caps. What is this all at? What is this all about?
8 mil.
They have 8 mil in space? Oh yeah, they only have 8 mil in space. Okay. So this is a little bit more of an issue than I thought it was.
Yeah.
So Robin Leonard right now he's making $5 million flat for the Knights. He's probably gonna want a little more.
Yeah, because he's a great goaltender. Like, I can see him, especially as he gets older, gets more into the game again that he's been getting into the past couple of years. He's going to be a star goalie that everyone knows about, everyone talks about, and everything.
Yeah.
So.
probably go for Leonard or maybe even Markstrom. Like, he's probably going to resign with Vancouver. If I had to guess, I would bet money on it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm trying to go for that great goalie, I'm going for Markstrom because, look, he's making 3.6, right?
Yeah.
Vancouver doesn't totally need him because Demko's going to be great. So I'm thinking maybe, I come to him with a $4.5 million offer and just see what he says. Because Markstrom is almost as good as Leonard, probably. I love Markstrom. So maybe I'm a little biased, but he's as good as Leonard, in my opinion, and he's probably going to be a bit cheaper.
Yeah. But maybe even if you go with someone like Brian Elliott, like, just for a couple years to maybe, like, get more veterans on the team, let the younger guys grow and everything, like, that would be good, and he could help Blackwood get amazing. So
I would say if you're going for a veteran, don't go for Elliott because Elliott has totally bottomed out. I'm thinking maybe somebody with a little more life in their eyes, like maybe Khudobin, because Khudobin, he's another. He is a great goalie still. He's a pretty good backup still. He can definitely teach Blackwood a couple things.
yeah. So
But that aspect of veteran coming in, I think that might definitely be a good thing for them to think about.
yeah, they have to go for some of the older guys.
Definitely. And then we have I know, I'm recording. Who cares? And then as far as defense, they have almost nothing. Like, I see PK Subban. He can definitely be good if he has enough people. If he has the right people on his line, he can be great.
Yeah.
Will Butcher's gonna. He's all right. But then other than that, I really don't see anything amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they have some young guys, not really on the defense, really only PK Subban, in my opinion. Maybe Will Butcher, but not really. I just see their forwards, like, that's how those are the guys that need to grow. They need to get more on their defensive core.
Absolutely, and we'll look at that in a minute. But I definitely want to look at this because they do have a strong core as far as offense. A whole bunch of young guys. Piche, Hughes, Palmieri. He's not young, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Zajac, Zanka even, Jesper Bratt maybe. Just a whole bunch of guys who need to expand. A whole bunch of 22, 23-year-old guys who are going to be great. So I'm thinking maybe they need like some veterans with them because they are totally young. Like McLeod, see ya, bud. Rooney, see ya, bud. Miles Wood, see ya, bud. You bring in somebody. Let's see who's up. Didn't I do that? Okay. Yeah, you bring somebody in like the new. He's not a veteran, but you know what I'm saying.
Like, he's good.
Yeah, or Miku Koivu if you're looking for a veteran. Somebody who still really knows how to play the game, but is a little bit older and can teach these new guys a little something.
Yeah.
I think that's really all I need to have a nice defensive core, offensive.
Yeah, I mean, just one or two guys, I think, would be great. Preferably older to, like, teach them stuff that they learned over their years and everything. Get them to be a better player. Even if he's just on, like, the third line, fourth line, he can still teach people in practice and on the bench and whatever.
Yeah, that locker room personality. Just slap an A on his chest. Put him on the third or fourth line, and then have him talk to these guys.
Yeah.
Definitely with somebody like Miku Koivu, that's definitely what you would do. Or maybe like somebody like maybe Gagne.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't see a lot of veteran talent
Maybe
going up as far as forwards this year.
I mean, maybe Ryan Callahan. He's been in the Eastern Conference for all of his career, I'm pretty sure, if not definitely most of it. So he definitely knows his way around the teams, playing against all of them.
Absolutely.
So, what is he? 5.8. So that's a little bit of money, but
Especially for Ryan Callahan.
yeah,
He's going to want less, though, coming into this, because now he's older.
Mhm.
So, I'm sure he was on that contract.
Yeah, it was probably a really long contract. But we'll see what happens, see what they go with. If they continue to just keep their young guys and hope they grow, then that's their choice.
Yeah, I think that. Well, I definitely think they will grow with or without a veteran, but I think
Yeah.
they can definitely season them better. They have the veteran on their side.
Yeah.
And then of course, as far as defensemen, they have a long way to go. So let's be generous here. And while this is loading, because this thing's being stupid, so let's be generous here, and let's say that they have Subban and Butcher. Okay. See ya, bud. All these things. Bye-bye. Okay? No, you know what? Keep Clayson. He's young. Oh, no, he's 28. I don't mind. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Alright. See ya, bud. Okay? Except for Will Butcher, PK Subban. We need to fill in 4 more guys. Okay? Who are you putting in?
I say one really old veteran.
So, like, Matt Green?
Yeah, maybe like Mike Green. He would be good. Just for like a year or two, give you time. Obviously make him an assistant or whatever. Whatever works.
Mm-hmm.
Then go with
Krug?
just more of like a high 20s core.
Like Krug, Brody, Hamonic, Gudis, maybe.
Yeah.
Like something like that. Oh no, because you already said Mike Green. So then maybe Krug, Brody, Hamonic. Just like, because Krug is an amazing offensive defenseman. He'll put up nasty points, 49 points in 61 games. The guy's on fire.
Yeah.
And then, TJ Brody, he's a great two-way defenseman. Absolutely. And then Travis Hamonic, he'll be that guy, that third line guy, probably him and Mike Green. And then Krug and either Brody or Barry.
Mm-hmm.
And then Subban and Butcher. I'd probably put Subban with Krug, Butcher with Green, and then Barry and Hamonic, or Brody and Hamonic.
Yeah, that would probably be the best bet. Obviously, I don't know. I mean, with their team, they can't fix it in 1 year. It's going to be a few years before you see them get good or grow and everything. But even if they just call up a couple guys from their AHL affiliate, like, I don't know what they have down there, if they have any great guys on, what is it, the Albany Devils, I believe. But, I mean...
That can definitely... Maybe we can look that up.
Yeah.
Albany Devils?
I think that's what it is.
Albany Devils. AHL.
At Amazon.
Oh, I should have probably put roster. There you go, roster of the Albany Devils. Let's see, the team, there's nothing there.
That is a nice team.
So, I mean, nobody.
You could call some people up from this team.
Yes, there's absolutely nobody there,
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a great core in Albany.
Amazing,
I'm liking it.
No, but who are they losing at the end of this year if they don't do something quick? Who are they losing? Probably a bunch of their young guys, right?
You should probably change it to just...
Yeah. Mueller, White, Clayson. Oh, they're losing a lot of those defensemen.
Yeah.
A lot of them. But they're keeping the 2 that we said we could keep. Yo, they're in a great position.
Yeah. So
great.
If they just let them go, maybe keep one of them for a third pair.
They're not letting it. Like, they're not paying these guys a lot, so it's not a huge cap release.
Yeah.
6. They're releasing what, like $5 million? Let's say all these are 700,000, right? Times 5, so 3.5, 3.5, 4.2, 5.6 for 6 guys. Like, They're not releasing as much as they
They
wish they were,
could be.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, this is just the defensemen that they're losing. All positions. Think. Who are they losing? They're losing Colin White. They're losing. Oh, whoa!
Why? So
They got some stuff to do here. They're losing Jesper Bratt. I would say grab him. But other than that, I think they're definitely in a good spot here. This is just a huge like cap dump so that they can put more money into a goalie like Leonard and some defensemen like Brody and like, all that stuff.
yes.
Yeah, because if we go back to defensemen, I just want to remember what we said. So yeah, they can put more money into a guy like Torrey Krug, who's probably gonna want $6 million. Like he's a really good player. And then somebody like these guys, they have money now that they're dumping all of this. And then they can, pull up, somebody from that AHL team that doesn't exist apparently. And they can rely on their talent, and then if they have money left over, go for depth. But if they don't, they don't.
Yeah.
They just need talent. If they have just a couple more talented guys, like even just for the sake of the argument, let's say they needed 2 more defensemen with talent, 1 more forward with talent, and a goaltender with talent. Pietrangelo, Krug, done. Forwards. Thank you. Taylor Hall, boom. Goaltender. Go. Robin Leonard, boom. Okay? So say they fill that out, right? Then, at that point, they have what they need. And they just need to fill in the depth with AHL guys or whatever they need to do. And then they just need to make sure that they stay under the cap, which is probably going to be their biggest issue here because they have 8.5 plus like the 10 million or whatever they're losing now to fill in a whole bunch of talent plus the depth. So maybe skimp out on the extra forward and maybe get veteran defenseman.
Yeah.
Just to be that veteran presence and then get a good goaltender.
Yeah, like I could definitely see their forward core being great and scary to verse within the next few years, probably like 3 or 4. They'll be a really scary team, especially as like the rest of the Metro Division gets older and starts to retire and everything, because it's just a scary division in general. Like, you never know what's gonna happen in the beginning of the year anymore.
Yeah.
So
I just could have looked up the caps over here.
Mm.
Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, it's gonna be very, very interesting to see what they end up doing. I think there's definitely a way for them to clean up the team in this offseason and come back better than ever. Again, they are in a really hard division, like Billy said, which is a really smart thing I hadn't thought of. But they need to step up their game if they think that they're going to get through in a division like this, And in the Metropolitan Division, say we got 90, 89, 86, 81. Very close division up here.
yeah.
Very close.
So
It's within 10 points and within like 2 games. So like maybe excluding the top 3, this is incredibly close.
Mm-hmm.
And then New Jersey's just bottoming out. So, but they're not too far behind. It's not like they're Detroit. They're not too far behind. They just need a little extra boost to get them to win some more games.
Because even look, like all the goal differentials, there's 2 teams that are negative at a single digit, and then there's the Devils at minus 41. Like that's probably what kills them, because they just let in so many goals because they just verse these teams 28 games a season.
Look at this. They were on an upswing. They were 6-2-2 in their last 10.
Yeah, so they definitely have potential. They could be great.
Mm-hmm. They just need their guys to get older, and they need to put in that little less boost of talent in front of them instead of punching forward. Because they have everybody punching forward. They have nobody relaxing by the net.
Yeah.
So they just need to bulk up a little bit. It's not even like they need a total reinvent. Just like the Red Wings. They just need a bulk up. The Red Wings need a complete washout. Like last week, me and Sean were talking about how they could totally just go the totally different route and just dump Mantha and dump Mantha and dump the Kaiser and those guys on their defense and just build a team around Larkin and Bertuzzi.
Yeah.
You know, like they could just do a total reinvent. I don't think you need this for New Jersey. I just think they need something to add on top of it.
Yeah, just like...
They need the icing on the cake to be delicious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, because look, 5 more wins and they're right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those 5 more wins can easily be goaltender night. And then, you know, a nice defenseman making a good play. And then, you know, a couple more goals by Husey and Hishe, you know, as they get older. Huge room for improvement there. They are not as bad as they are portrayed to be.
Yeah.
So it is June 25th now. Until hockey comes back, we're probably going to do a team a week. We'll do some bottom feeders like New Jersey and like Detroit, and then maybe we'll go up and we'll do it the opposite. We'll do Washington and Boston and Tampa. See what's so good about them. You know, see what's so good about them, and then figure out what teams need to do to defeat them.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good idea. We're gonna try to come together here every week and do the podcast. Every once in a while, we might have to do one over Discord again. And I get there's a little bit of delay, and it's not the greatest audio. But though this is better quality, this cannot happen all the time. Yeah. So we're gonna try, but most of the time we should succeed. But just every once in a while, we may have to do it.
Yeah. But
I definitely think that this was a huge eye-opener, especially to me, on how not bad New Jersey really is. Because I thought New Jersey was a total tank.
Yeah.
Like a total bomb. But they're really not. They just need a little bit more on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? You bump out a few of these, you replace it with Torrey Krug and Tyson Berry, you bump Corey Schneider, who's making much more than he needs to. You put in, like, Robin Leonard or Jacob Markstrom. And then, you know, these guys get a little older. Even some of these veterans, like Palmieri, you know, Zajac, these guys. Those guys can be those vets. You don't really need to touch their forward core. They just need to get older.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Hischier is 20, 21. Jack Hughes is not even 20.
Yeah.
Like, and they're playing on these lines. They just don't have anybody else. They just went through a rebuild. That's what this tells me. Mm-hmm. This tells me that they just went through a rebuild, and now they're on their way back up to the top. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to say that within the next 5 years, they'll be a cup contender.
Yeah.
If they play their cards right, blue line and back, and they let this group grow, they're able to cut contracts with them as they get older, there can be a huge success story within this team.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't even have to move much. Like 3 players could totally make this team. 2 defensemen and a goalie. Totally make this team. Well, maybe not even a goalie, because if Blackwood can get better and grow, power to him.
Yeah. And then you just need a backup.
Exactly. Or even if you do, just use, Blackwood and then, you know, I don't know, 30-year-old who's going to be like 33 by the time he's dead. Like Condon or Aaron Dell. Or just season backup.
Or like Blackwood's 29, so, I mean...
Blackwood's number 29. He's like, he's 24.
Oh, he's 24. Yeah, I knew that.
No, he's 23 even. He's not even 24. This season he was 23, and he was the starting goaltender.
Yeah, so even if you just get some crazy old, like, veteran throughout the years, just until he gets older, and then just draft some young goalie and
keep the cycle going.
Yeah, like, just keep having a veteran there with the young guy who's the starter. The veteran has experience. He could always just come in whenever. Mm-hmm. And I think he'll do well.
Absolutely. So, little defensive boost. No rebuild, just because he's 5 out. Well, I guess it's kind of a rebuild. Mm-hmm. It's like 5 out of 7 of their defensemen, but knock these 5 out, put in 2 or 3, and then the other one can be an AHL pull-up. Who cares? better goalie, or somebody, even if we wait for Blackwood to get older, better veteran, and then wait for these guys to get older. And then within the next 3 to 5 years, we could see them in the conference final or in the Stanley Cup finals.
Yep.
I don't doubt it. Hopefully, this will be a team soon that Brodeur will be proud of.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that pretty much concludes that, unless you have something else to say.
I mean, they have potential. That's basically it. They just have to be smart, spend the money that they're willing to spend and need to spend, and they could be a great team.
Yeah, I definitely think you are right about that. Oh, look, Kyle Palmieri's from Smithtown.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
I didn't even realize. Now I gotta look at every team this exact same way and look for who's from the island. But anyway, so he was probably an Indian fan. He's probably mad at himself for picking this team. But anyway, that was pretty sick.
Yep.
So I think now we are just going to come back to us. And we're gonna play our game for today.
Yeah.
So let me X that out and let's play our game for the day.
It's our game. Game of the day. Woohoo. I'm excited.
Here we go.
Excited?
I am excited because I get to play too. This isn't like a secret whatever. But I chose not to contemplate these answers, and you 100% would, so I didn't show you, just for the meme.
The meme.
And now we have, the game start, bench, and cut. I've seen YouTube videos about this, but in a one-game situation, if you had one game, right, you were going up against somebody else, right? So you want to make the best team possible for a one-game situation, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna have a whole bunch of three-player bundles. They're gonna have something in common. Either they're young guys, or they're goaltenders, or they're right wings, or they're centers, or whatever. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Or they're forwards, or whatever. They're gonna have, even if it's just the slightest similarity, they're gonna have it. And then you have to decide who you're gonna pick. You know what I'm saying?
I got it. Okay.
So the first one, who's your goaltender going to be? Jordan Binnington, Tuukka Rask, Connor Hellebuyck. Who are you starting, who are you benching, and who are you cutting? Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. So, Binnington, Rask, and Hellebuyck. This is really hard about knowing who I'm going to bench and who I'm going to start. I'm probably going to cut Jordan Binnington, only because he is young, he is inexperienced, and I've never seen him be particularly clutch. Hellebuyck and Rask are incredibly clutch players, and they're amazing goaltenders. So, this is going to be difficult, because I don't know who I would pick if I had both. It would probably come down to money, or to something like that. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably start Hellebuyck and bench Rask. Only because Hellebuyck is up and coming and is only getting better by the day. And Rask is cooling off a little bit. Not cooling off like getting worse. He's just chilling there. I never know, as a 33-year-old or whatever he is, when he's just going to... And I hope it's not during my game where he goes, boom. But he's on the bench, and if Hellebuyck lets up 4 goals, Rask is in.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. What would you do?
So I'm going to have to disagree with you a little bit.
Okay.
Binnington does come out clutch every once in a while. Just wanted to put that out there. Like last year. What was it? Was it last year? I think it was last year. The Blues won the cup. They were like the last place team in the conference, and then they bring up Binnington from the AHL, and he's just like, I am great, guys. I will lead you to the cup final, and we are going to win this thing. And then they were great because they had a good goalie, and yeah. So he does come out clutch, but I will say he is younger than the other two, so I'm going to have to cut him, say bye.
You put me in my place a little bit there, because I didn't totally know what I was saying with Binnington. Well, that's another thing. I had lack of knowledge of him, so I just kind of cut him and left it at that.
No.
But I do like Bennington. I definitely like Bennington.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see him grow.
He's gonna be another scary goalie to verse in
His career is as his face is. He'll be okay.
Does he have a long face?
He's hilarious looking. Anyway, we can cut that out. Let's go.
So Raskin Hellbuck, that's a hard choice.
Very hard. Like it's neck and neck.
Yeah,
It's
they're
like
two amazing goalies. I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with Rask.
start Rask.
I'm gonna start Rask because they have like similar stats off the top of my head, if I can remember correctly.
Correct. Hellebuck's save percentage is a little better.
Yeah.
But I think they're pretty similar as far as GAA.
Yeah, and in my opinion, like the Western Conference is just easier games more often for more of the teams. Like more of the teams are not as good.
So you're saying that if he was in Rask's position on Rask's team, he may not do as well.
He'll still
Well,
be
it's subjective,
pretty
but
good, but he may not do as well. So I'm gonna have to say Rask is the better one, and I'm gonna start Rask, bench Hellebuck, and cut Bennington.
Okay. Interesting.
Answer.
Interesting. Final answer. Number 2. 3 of the best centers in the league. Would you rather have Stamkos, Tavares, or Sagan?
Okay.
Okay.
So
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first on this one.
You go first.
So, I mean, they're all great first-line centers.
I have no clue where to start. I have no clue where to start. Like, I don't know who I'd cut. Like, there's no clear anything on this.
I mean, Stamkos is more of like a playmaker. Tavares, he's a goal scorer. And
Sagan's a little bit of both. He's like
Yeah.
two-way. He's very
He's-
two-way.
yeah, I would say he's a two-way forward. So it's really like, what does your team need? But in my opinion, I say the best like center to have is a good two-way with like a good two-way center with like a sniper wing and a playmaker wing. Like that's just a great trio for me. So I'm gonna have to go.
With?
I don't know actually. I think I'm gonna cut Sagan.
Oh, so you totally just threw us for a loop. You went, you need a good two-way
Yeah.
forward to be your center. I'm going to cut the two-way forward.
So no, because
See you, bud.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking. So basically, the other two, they have a lot of international game experience. So they've versed
Correct.
some of the best players in the world, not only in the NHL. Sagan doesn't have that experience yet, at least. So,
Well, isn't he like 30?
yeah, I
Okay,
think
so-
he's getting up there. So,
Wait, I can't remember because Ben and Sagan, one of them is young and one of them's not. Right? Or are they both old?
I
Am I
think
totally
Sagan
pulling
was
that out of my
drafted-
butt?
Yes. Yes, you are.
I could totally be pulling that out of my butt. Wait.
Oh, now he's looking it up.
I am, absolutely.
Alright, I'm gonna continue talking. So yeah, cut Sagan because he doesn't have that much international experience, so he hasn't versed the greatest players yet. He doesn't have those extra games and everything. And I'm probably gonna.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Sagan's 28, Ben is 30.
Yeah.
So they're both older. Okay, screw me.
Woohoo.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna start Stamkos. He's just been great with Tampa all along. I think Tavares is just not too much, but a little overrated. I think people see him as much better than he really is. He's really just like a decent first line center.
Him and Marner are great together.
Yeah. He has some great guys that he's played with that just work well together and everything, but in my opinion, he's not as good as Stamkos. So, final answer, Stamkos start, Tavares bench, and Sagan cut.
Okay. I don't even know where to start. Because you were right about the international success, but This isn't an short.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't put as much gravity to that statement as you did, but I definitely think you're right about that. Obviously, but I think I'd probably bench Stamkos because Stamkos is really or was really really good, and I'm not saying he's not really really good anymore, but I'm saying he's definitely not as good as he was 2 or 3 years ago. I don't think he's at his best he ever was. And he's playing with Kucherov, he's playing with Point, and two young guys who are already top of their game. So I'm benching Stamkos because I feel like he is not what he used to be, and I can't trust him to score a goal for me.
Yep.
I love the fact that Sagan is a two-way center. That is huge for a center. Two-way is critical, which is why I would bench him, and I would start Tavares as my first line center. I don't like Tavares. I really don't. I'm an Islander fan. Should have told us. Anyway, but I would start Tavares on my first line because he's just an all-around great center, and I think he would 100% score a goal for me in that game, as long as I put the right guys next to him. So, I would go with Tavares. And then bench Sagan and cut. That's very close. It could go any of the three ways. I wouldn't start Sagan. But other than that, go any of the three ways.
Okay.
All right. Three of the biggest defensive prospects of the last draft: Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, and Adam Fox. So, do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. So, Quinn Hughes, absolutely a great defender. He is a top tier. He's going to be top tier. However, right now, I believe he is way overrated. Not overrated enough to be like, oh, cutting him. See you later, bud. But I'm just saying, he's not my go-to guy. My go-to guy? He's not my go-to guy. Okay? Makar. Great defenseman. I love him. He's amazing. He's really good. I think he's in Colorado, right? Yeah. Colorado, right? Yeah. And he's really good. I'm sure he's just as influential as the McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen line. I'm sure he's right behind them every time. I think he's definitely a really well-built all-around defenseman. Adam Fox, we haven't seen enough from yet. I really don't know. But I definitely believe that he's going to be something of himself. He went really early on, so he's going to be amazing. I don't doubt that. But I definitely think I would bench Hughes, start Makar, and cut Fox due to lack of experience, knowledge, exposure. How about you?
Okay. Start Makar, bench Hughes, cut Fox. No doubt about it. Yes, I'm gonna have to agree with you. So good job on that. Makar, he's great. Already I can see him being one of the best defensemen in the league. He's gonna be a very strong player for Colorado for however long he stays.
100%.
Assuming he stays there for a long time. If he goes to another team, he'll be a great addition for them. Hughes, very reliable for Vancouver.
A little too young to tell for me, too.
Yeah. Like, he's young, but he's been consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's good on his part. And Fox, like you said, we haven't really seen much from him recently. Or at all yet. But I could see him getting good over the years. Maybe, like, a solid first pair, like, second guy, eventually. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So, all right, that's pretty cool. We finally totally agreed.
Yeah.
All right, three guys who are going to be amazing, but as of right now, they belong in the backup position, but they are all going to be great goalies. Merzlikins from Columbus, Mackenzie Blackwood from the Devils, and Shesterkin from the Rangers. So, do you want to go first?
I think it's my turn.
All right, you go. Oh, you've been...
Yeah, I've been
Okay,
faithful.
so you go
wanna
first.
Pick up on that? Oh, big brain.
Big brain.
Okay.
Well, I did for the second one. I was like, okay, so I went first to the first one. He went first to the second one. But then I just lost track because I don't really care. Good.
Alright, so all great goalies, really. Merzlikins. He was actually like a great pickup after they lost Bobrovsky. Definitely has some great potential. Blackwood, obviously we talked about. He's been as good as he can be, probably. Getting into his 30s almost, and just, I don't know.
He's not almost in his 30s. You keep
Yes,
saying
he
he's
is.
29.
Yes, he
His
is.
number was 29. He's like 24 years old.
Yeah, that's almost in your 30s. That's,
His player number is 29.
yes. 24.
He's 24 years old.
That's like 80% to your 30s. He's almost there. Okay, so he's getting there. If you're talking where his life starts at like 20 years old, like Jason over here, then he's not almost there. He's just about halfway. But overall, as he's doing as good as he could be and everything, yeah, Shesterkin, he's gonna be a great goalie after Lundqvist finally decides to retire, which, I mean, I'm not a big fan of him, so I'm kind of hoping Lundqvist retires soon. He scares me.
Scares me.
Not gonna lie, he kind of scares me, so I'm excited for Shesterkin to take over.
Shesterkin and Georgiev are going to be a huge combo.
Yes, that's,
They're going to be really good.
yeah, whatever. So I'm gonna have to
Unfortunately,
go
yeah.
with, oh, this is hard. All in the Metro.
That has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, I know, but
Stop using your Islander fan sense for a second, and
I'm trying to think, like, the Islanders don't have great history with goalies, I will say that, at least recently. So, I'm trying to think, who would I want on the Islanders to...
oh, I know who I don't. That's easy. I'd easily want Shesterkin on the Islanders.
I'm gonna have to go with start Merzlikins,
Really?
bench Shesterkin, and cut Blackwood.
That was unbelievable. I thought you were gonna easily cut Merzlikins.
No.
Really? Well, obviously
I really think he's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously I would, because I just totally threw him under the bus. Because I think he's good, but I just don't see him becoming what Blackwood and Shesterkin are going to become. I definitely think out of the three of them, Blackwood is going to become the best of them. But as of right now, I would probably... I cut Merzlikins. Or maybe I wouldn't cut Merzlikins. Ah!
Oh, almost a bad word. That was a boo-boo word right there.
No, it wasn't.
Boo-boo word.
It was
That's
a
what-
boo-boo letter. It wasn't a boo-boo word.
Yeah, but you almost said the boo-boo word.
My boo-boo letter almost evolved into a boo-boo word, but I didn't let it. I squashed it. I went,
No more.
no. Okay. I'm gonna cut Merzlikins.
So you are cutting it.
Damn it. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna.
Oh my god.
No. I'm okay.
This-
Bad. My bad. I'm gonna cut Shesterkin, bench Merzlikins, play Blackwood. Done. Easy memes. Okay. Done. Okay. Three of the best defensemen in the league. Okay. You need a star defense for your team, right? You need them. You need them bad, right? Are you taking Ekblad, Carlson, Aaron Ekblad, John Carlson, or Victor Hedman? You want to go first? Or you want me to?
I think it's
So it's your turn. Okay. Fine.
I mean, I can go first, but
Aaron Ekblad, great defenseman for
Florida.
Florida. Easily their best defenseman. I think he's really a really great addition to the blue line. And then John Carlson, easily the same thing. From what I've seen of him, he's actually very offensive.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to say, he's definitely an offensive defenseman. And then Victor Hedman, pretty much the same thing, but I think he's very two-way. He can play either one. He's just a really good all-around defenseman. Very good for Tampa. 100%. He leads the way as far as defense goes. But I would definitely go in backwards order. I would start Hedman, bench Carlson, and cut Ekblad. They're all really good defensemen, but I think if I had to, on a whim, be like, I need one game, can you come help us? I would reach out to Hedman first, and then Carlson second, and then Ekblad third. Carlson's a huge heavy hitter, which is going to be great. And I'm almost thinking that I'd probably switch them out as the game went along, only because Carlson would be great at for a penalty kill or something like that. I would definitely want him helping my team out with that. So I would start Hedman, bench Carlson, and cut Ekblad. How about you?
In order of start, bench, cut, Hedman, Ekblad, Carlson. Because Hedman, I can see Ekblad, he's more of an offensive guy from what I remember, in my opinion.
I think so.
And Hedman can be that good hitter that you need. So you really don't need two of those guys on the team for one game. That would be nice.
He can be, but Carlson's not. But Carlson's always that. Hedman's only that when he decides to be.
So you can tell him, be a big hitter, and he'll then decide to be because he's listening to coach. Because what will happen if he doesn't listen to coach?
Boom!
Yeah.
Die.
Big boy. Big
boy.
bang.
Big
New
big
Earth
boom.
created.
Big boy. Big boom.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's my answer.
Hedman, Ekblad, Carlson. Okay. All right. I definitely can see that. All right. I personally don't think Ekblad is that special. But, and I want to add in one final one. Ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm not ready. But I'll be ready.
Okay. If you had to choose a center for your team.
Center for my team.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you choose? Ready?
I'm ready. You definitely didn't decide.
David.
McDavid.
McKinnon.
Or
Draisaitl.
Draisaitl, McDavid, McKinnon.
So you start Draisaitl, bench McDavid, and cut McKinnon.
Yes.
Why?
Okay. Draisaitl and McDavid, they just work so well when they're on the same team, and I don't see McKinnon getting up to the franchise leading potential that they're at. So he's an easy cut. Then I would start Draisaitl. I honestly think he's better, and McDavid's speed on the second line, that would be really scary. I think you would be much more successful with him in the second line than Draisaitl on the first, because he's a great scorer, Draisaitl, whether he's on the first or second.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a better pairing if McDavid's on the second, and then Draisaitl's just boom, boom, boom.
I got you, because especially since him and Draisaitl and Tavares and Matthews are the two biggest center tandems, I guess, in the league. And I definitely think they could go either way. They could be on the same line. They could be on two different lines. They could swap on those two different lines. It doesn't matter. But I definitely think that if you have that great scorer on the first line, and then the second line comes out and they got that explosive power, that explosive speed, great points, you have a deadly team.
Yeah.
So I would probably go with the same thing, now that you're enlightening me on that. And I definitely think that McKinnon needs Landeskog and Rantanen. Otherwise, he's 60-point-a-year guy.
Yeah.
He's still good. First line good, maybe. But I think he's definitely not Hall of Fame talent.
Yeah, he just works well with those two specific guys, it seems like.
I get they were injured and he still put up good points. But I just think he puts up better points when he's around better players.
Yeah.
So, I would definitely go with cutting McKinnon and then go Draisaitl and then McDavid as far as the lines go. So, it's pretty easy. All right, guys. So now we're going to be, you're going to take over the PC, and I want you to look up the birthdays, and we're going to do some birthdays.
Awesome.
He's going to be, he's going to do the birthdays live for you guys, right in front of me. I've never seen him do birthdays.
Okay.
And this time, he's not going to get cut off in the middle and start going,
Yeah.
and he's, because now he's on a $70 amazing plan.
Oh, well. Alright, so we're starting with the day this is going out, June 26th.
June 26th.
Alright, you want to do 2 guys or 1 guy each day?
We'll do 1 or 2, depending on how many big names are there.
How many? Alright.
So, like today, there's not really any big names.
Okay, so we talked about him today. Cody McLeod, okay? He played for Colorado, Nashville, and the Rangers from 08 to 19. 776 games, 72 goals, 55 assists, 127 points with a -59, and 630
1,630 penalties.
Yeah, 16. I meant to say that. 1,630 penalties in minutes. So, he gets really mad at me when I say in minutes. I don't know why.
No, I don't. I just think it's very,
Very strict. Alright, then, so I usually go with a guy I've heard of and then a funny name. So, maybe like someone like... who's
Danny
funny.
Green.
Maybe him. I'm feeling Steve Junker.
I like that.
Okay? He played 5 games with the Islanders in 94 and got no points. Plus minus was 0 and 0 penalties in minutes. So, great career by him.
What a career.
Go Junker. So now we do a little next day.
Oh, you can just do that.
Yeah, and you just go do the week.
All right.
We'll go, who have I heard of?
Rupsov.
Where? Oh, yeah.
So, but he hasn't had a long enough career yet to really.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's no really big names for June 27th. So we'll just go with Mike
Angelidis.
Angelidis. That's a full name. He played for Tampa from 2012 to 2016, 14 games, 2 goals, 0 assists for 2 points, +1, and 22 penalties in minutes. He was probably like a 4th liner that was called up a couple times for injuries. So, yeah. What's next? June 28th. So we have Jason Cusimano, never played in the NHL before for no teams. 0
What if his parents had put him on skates at a younger age?
Nope, never, not a chance. 0 goals, 0 assists, no points, no penalty minutes. So that's pretty good.
I'm a clean boy.
He's
a clean boy.
Yeah. So,
You know?
I mean, happy birthday to him, I guess.
Who do I share a birthday with?
No one special.
No one special, dude.
Alright, so we'll go with George G. Okay?
George G.
Okay. So he played for, what is that?
CBH. Columbus Blue Hats? No. Alright, he played CBH in Detroit.
From 46 to 54, 551 games played, 135 goals, 183 assists, with 318 points. The plus minus is not recorded, and 347 penalties in minutes.
Sir.
Yeah. That happens sometimes. Like, I think they didn't start recording plus minus till like the 60s or 70s. So.
Gotcha. Alright, here we go. Now we got June 29th.
Alright, let's go with... there's really not some great guys this week.
Brian Lawton, he played a long time.
Alright. Oh, should we go Mike Sillinger just so we could say all those teams?
Sure.
Alright, Mike Sillinger. He played for Detroit, MDA, Vancouver, Philadelphia, Tampa, Florida, Ottawa, Columbus, Phoenix, St. Louis, Nashville, and the Isles from 1991 to 2009. That was really fun to say. 1,049 games, 240 goals, 308 assists for 548 points. I cannot speak right now. Minus 191. Not that great. But 644 penalties in minutes. So, could have been better. And also, we'll go with Doug Burr. He played for the Kansas City, whatever team they were. I forgot. I think they were the Senators, right?
Could be.
I'm pretty sure they were the Senators. He played 6 games in 75, for 2 assists with 2 points and 4 penalties in minutes with a 0 plus minus.
Pretty good.
So,
And then June 30th.
so what is this? This is now Tuesday? Yes.
Something like that, because this is going to go up on the 26th. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 30, 30. Oh, second. Alright, so we got to go to July 2nd.
Okay.
Alright, go ahead.
So, we have... Don Head. That's a good name.
Not bad.
Okay. He played for Boston in 62, 38 games, no points, and 14 penalties in minutes. But he was a goalie. So he had 9 wins, 26 losses, and 3 overtime losses for an .879 save percentage and a .416 GAA.
Whoa!
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And we'll go one more guy. We'll go... You want to do... What do you want to do? You expect me to pronounce that? Steve Duchesne.
Duchesne.
That's not
Duchesne. Duchesne? I like that.
He played for the Kings, Philly, Quebec, St. Louis, Ottawa, and Detroit from 87 to 02. Just over 1,000 games played. 227 goals, 525 assists for 752 points, plus 89, and 824 penalties in minutes.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'm liking that guy.
Yes, sir.
Great guy. So now we are up to July 1st. We'll go Jerome Ginla.
Yeah.
Not currently. He just retired. He played for Calgary, Pittsburgh, Boston, Colorado, and the Kings. Played from 97 to 17. 1554 games, 625 goals, 675 assists for 1,300 points, a plus 30, and 1,040 penalties in minutes.
Wow.
Honestly, from when I watched him, he was a great player.
Yes, sir.
We'll go Maxim Sashinsky.
There you go.
He played for Minnesota in 01. What are these one-year players?
Yeah, played 30 games.
30 games, 11 points, minus 7, and 29 penalties a minute. So a couple fights in there.
Yes, sir.
July 2nd. We'll go...
July 2nd, which is next Friday.
Yeah. Joe Thornton played for Boston and currently plays for San Jose since 1998. 1,636 games, 420 goals, nice. 1,089 assists for 1,509 points, a plus 186, and 1,248 penalties in minutes.
I never really thought of him as a penalty taker.
I mean, yeah, he's more of like an offensive guy, playmaker.
Yeah.
Really good guy.
And we'll do one more on July 2nd when this comes out. Alright, guys, so thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed our 5th episode to date. And so we talked about a whole lot of stuff, and we pretty much figured out everything that has to do with the Devils, because you don't need context to build a team. You know, we know everything. So, guys, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, watch, favorite, whatever you got to do on whatever you're watching this on. Make sure to check out the YouTube channel, no matter what you're watching this on, for more exclusive content from both of us, from me playing some NHL 20. And we will see you guys next time. See you guys next Friday down by the rink. Bye-bye.
Peace.